Yeah, they list a few things here from over the years, but these are all cults that have either been shut down or killed themselves, or they're the Al Qaeda.
It's like self-destructed. I know in France there's a lot of them because I remember looking up a list, and there's like a list of tons of them from France.
Well, they're all over the damn place.
I don't think they're just that dangerous. I think the majority of them weren't that dangerous, though.
Well, there we go, France. Knights of the Gold Lotus. Knowing How to Change Now. Kokufu no Kagaku.
I'm sorry, that sounds like a help plan, like a self-help thing.
No, this one even more so. Institute for the Research of Happiness of Man.
So they're not really threatening ones over there.
Landmark Education International, also known as the Forum.
That just looks like a friggin'. That just sounds like a friggin' business. It's not a cult. That's a corporate identity.
Yeah, but these are all lists of
legitimate cults. Wow. Now, where are you getting your source?
Well, the only place that's quick and easy to get to, Wikipedia.
Woo!
Holy crap! Look, I see what you mean by a long list. Look at this thing.
Yeah,
it's like a mile long. I'm still scrolling here.
I remember that actually.
It wasn't even at the bottom there. Here, let's go all the way down.
Just for those
there we go.
Those that are listening, there's at least 200 names here.
Good lord! Oh man, here's a bunch more.
Oh dear God!
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's Germany.
I kind of feel sorry for France now, having that many cults there. You guys need to get on the ball. Yeah, Germany has a lot too, but I'm seeing a lot of repeat names of the ones that were in France.
Is there anything in England or Ireland?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sure our friend across the pond will comment on that too. It's like, well, yeah, there's one right here.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was a founding member.
Yeah.
No offense, buddy.
No, yeah, you're awesome, man.
No, they don't actually list anything here, but I'm sure if I searched a little harder, I could find a bunch.
Probably. Next podcast, we'll do that. When we're a little bit more prepared for that kind of stuff.
Although, really, when you think about it, no, this is just a list of the really bad ones. These are like doomsday cults and suicide cults and all the ones that are listed as dangerous. But what about cults that aren't dangerous? What about ones that are just, just movements?
Sorry, hang on. The cult, or the Institute for Happiness with Man, was a threatening cult?
Yep.
Damn!
Yep.
It sounds so nice.
I know.
So pleasant.
I know, but the only things that were on this list were things that were investigated by the government and police forces
of those countries.
And suspected of being, bad for people.
Wow.
As in death.
Well, no, bad for people like in
or
death,
doomsday,
or bad for people as in like scam artists and stuff like that. Because there are a lot of Scientology.
Oh God, yeah.
Have you seen,
don't get me started on that. There's a massive movement against them.
I'm sorry. Have you seen the commercials for that show or for that that cult?
Yep.
Like it's like just shows smiling faces, and then it just keeps panning through them really faster and faster, and then suddenly just pops up like the sign. It's like Scientology.com. I was like, when I first saw the commercial, I was like, what the fuck am I looking at? And then it was like a facial cleansing thing, or like some kind of like a toothbrush commercial, and suddenly just Scientology. It's what?
Yeah, here we go. It says here, list of groups referred to as cults or sects in government documents, using cults in the negative sense.
Gotcha. I remember also hearing about some alien cults down in Nevada that actually used prayer. Actually, it might have been a division from Scientology or something.
Well, you mean like Mormons?
No, well, that too.
Hey, they're an alien cult.
Yeah. Well, this one had like it was actually a photograph of a bunch of people in the middle of a park or somewhere, and they had this weird like device that they called a prayer generator, and they were all doing this like to it and stuff like that, and apparently it was their prayers were supposed.
I'm glad you're animating. Well, actually, no, you're not animating this, are you?
No.
I'm glad they're doing this, and he's making like all kinds of hand gestures.
Well, like they're
nobody can see this.
Sorry, they were pointing their like they had one hand on their heads, and they had the other hand pointed toward the this generator that's in the middle of this circle of people, and they're like chanting or something, and then suddenly, and they were what the whole thing was supposed to do was that it was supposed to send their prayers to their star gods.
Yeah, you'll have to find a picture of that and like just add like a link to the video.
Yeah.
But anyhow, where were we? All right, so as far as cults are concerned, what exactly defines what a cult is? Because from what I'm seeing, cult and sect are interchangeable words, especially in several European languages.
Yeah.
And a sect is basically just a branch of an existing religion. Now, in that sense, a cult isn't necessarily a bad thing, but what exactly embodies a cult?
I think a cult is just a small group. I think it's really. I think if I remember correctly, a cult is a small religious group of fanatics, who cannot be considered a religion, like a full religion.
Well, that's just it. They can, though.
I know they can't, but I mean, like I said, I remember there was a description. I think that was it. Was that like it was a cult is a small religion that doesn't have a proper like church and stuff like that.
Yeah. They don't
So
have the government
really, in
backing
any
like others do.
like anime fans and like movie fans and stuff like that, they could technically be considered cults. Hence why my name is called Review Cultist.
Well,
but
you realize what fan is a short form of, right?
fanatic.
Exactly.
And you know, there's nothing wrong like there's nothing wrong with some cults, because as long as they're harmless, like as long as they're just believing what they believe in, and not like forcing people or killing people or something into believing their religion, that's all fine.
Yeah, that's just freedom of religion right there.
Yeah, exactly, and that is accepted. But but it's the really crazy ones that are fun to look at.
What I was trying to get at though was, how many of these major religions can you actually classify as a cult instead? I mean, wouldn't they all technically be cults because they all?
No, because a religion, like a religious group, like Christianity and stuff like that, they have proper doctrines and they have and so do some of these cults. But I mean,
cults, yeah.
But I mean, they have they're a lot more popular within the society and stuff like that. And I think that's what what makes it different from what we perceive as a cult is that a cult
I
isn't
think it's just
usually
a negative connotation that goes along with it, even though there's really.
Yeah,
if you go by the dictionary definition, there really isn't anything.
It's like somebody being considered a witch, back in the Salem era, and so like Salem times.
Well, that was just pure paranoia.
That was pure, yeah. Well, that was demonization of a pagan group, and paganism and some of that. That
well,
was
this is just it. Many of these people who were burned were, they were good people. They weren't part of any pagan group at all.
Somebody hated them.
Yep, someone hated them and said that they were a witch.
Yep,
and everybody followed suit.
Mob mentality for the win.
Yeah, it was just a bad time for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, aside from the lynch mobs, they had a great time. But
there's one thing I want, again, jumping train, to back to the Fan Expo thing. Dean Stockwell was there, and anybody who's a fan of Lovecraft films knows that Dean Stockwell was Wilbur Whitley. Was Wilbur Whitley in the Dunwich Horror back in 1960s or 1970s.
Certainly dressed like the 70s.
Yeah, I think it was the 70s, early 70s movie. And he's also in Battlestar Galactica, the new show, as one of the Cylon, the clones or whatever they are, the human guys of the Cylons. And he was there, and I wanted to get a picture of him, or I wanted to get like an autograph of him too.
But good lord, that lineup was long.
No, it wasn't. Not for Dean.
Yeah.
For Dean Stockwell, it was like shorter than most of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Why didn't you go and get an autograph?
I didn't have anything to get an autograph of. That, and I didn't have any money.
They had pictures right there.
I also didn't have any cash on me. Remember, I was short on cash there, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to get it or not.
That's right. So I loaned you money.
Yeah, I remember I ended up going to. Actually, it was funny because I went to a poster stand. You're saying, Chris or Review Cultist owes me money.
I actually have a list of things that people owe me.
Yeah.
Just so I can keep track of it all. I'm surprised how much there is.
Sorry, getting back to what I had.
Yes.
I actually went to a poster stand, in the dealer room, to try and find a poster of the Dunwich Horror. And I asked the guy, it's like, hey, do you have any posters of the Dunwich Horror? And the guy just like looked at me, and then sighed. It's like, no, it's at my house. I have a ton of them. I should have realized that because Dean Stockwell's here, and he's in that movie, right? And it's like, yeah, okay. I just walked away and never spoke of it again.